If you're a raw feeder, then like me, you're always thinking of different ways you can improve your pet's meals. This can be to fill nutritional gaps, relieve health-related issues, or just to add variety to the meal. I learn something new about pet nutrition almost daily. So in this video, I will show you 5 things that I started adding into my raw-fed pets meals recently, and why it may be a good idea for you to as well. Number 1, eggshell membranes. It's been discovered that the eggshell membranes contain naturally occurring glycosaminoglycans that are essential for maintaining healthy joints. In other words, they're a great natural source of collagen, glucosamine, and chondroitin. In a human study that was done in 2009, the supplementation of natural eggshell membrane was given, and in 7 days showed a significant response in flexibility, and in 30 days showed a decrease in joint pain. This can be found at health food stores, dried, powdered, and capsuled. However, many raw feeders feed eggs to their pets weekly, so if this is the case, why buy it in capsuled form when you can just simply peel it off the eggshell? It can be a little more difficult with some eggs than others to peel it off, however. Chicken eggs may have a thinner layer surrounding the inside of the shell that can easily rip, where duck and quail eggs have a much thicker membrane and can easily be pulled off the shell. This may seem tedious, but I do this all the time with all of the eggs that I feed. If you have trouble removing it, you can always still feed the shell as well from time to time. Number 2, trace mineral drops. Ideally, minerals should come from whole fresh foods. However, even eating a fresh food diet might not be enough to reach all recommended daily allowances, especially without whole prey. The brand that I use to add in trace minerals is Concentrace, and these drops contain over 72 ionic trace minerals in varying trace amounts, and are derived from seawater. Ultimately, these trace mineral drops are just to add to the nutrient spectrum for your dog, cat, or ferret. And per the doctor who works at the company, 1 drop per 5 pounds of body weight per day is what's recommended for pets. Number 3, hemp seed hearts and oil. When you think about providing omega-3 fatty acids in your pet's diet, your first thought will probably be oily fish, as they're a species-appropriate animal source for EPA and DHA. But did you know that there's other essential fatty acids like arachidonic acid, linoleic acid, and alpha-lipoic acid? In your pet's raw diet, LA and AA are abundant through animal fat, muscle meat, and eggs. However, ALA isn't. ALA is a precursor of EPA and DHA and is a plant-based omega-3 source that is very high in hemp seed hearts. According to the NRC, signs of ALA deficiency may be more subtle and only show up as skin and coat abnormalities, but it's still considered an essential fatty acid. Anecdotally, I did feel like Matsu's fur felt a little softer after feeding hemp seed hearts. For dogs, stick to around 1 teaspoon of both oil or hemp seed hearts for every pound of lean red meat fed. I often rotate feeding hemp seeds or oil and take breaks from giving it every now and again. According to the NRC, there is no minimum recommended allowance for ALA when it comes to adult cats. This is due to cats being almost entirely unable to convert it to EPA and DHA. Number 4, nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is deactivated yeast that is grown on sugarcane or beet molasses. Some owners may be wary of adding yeast to the diet in fear of skin-related yeast issues. However, being deactivated means that the fungi involved in active yeast that tends to cause skin issues are no longer living. Nutritional yeast is more commonly seen in cat diets than dog diets due to the cat's higher recommended allowance of B vitamins. Along with B vitamins, it's also high in potassium and also has a complete amino acid profile. It's important to note that nutritional yeast also contains phosphorus, and because of this, nutritional yeast is best avoided for pets in advanced renal failure. For healthy pets, phosphorus isn't an issue if the diet is balanced properly. Another major plus to adding nutritional yeast is that it really helps with picky eaters as it acts as a flavor enhancer. The recommended dosage is about 1/4 teaspoon for healthy adult cats, and for dogs, depending on their size, 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon is recommended, as their daily allowance of B vitamins is lower than cats. Number 5, more water. Water? Yes, more water. What if I told you that even though the raw diet is on average 75% moisture, this still might not be enough if your pet isn't good at drinking water from a bowl? Textbooks reference normal water intake for dogs as 60 to 80 milliliters of water per kilogram of body weight and 50 milliliters of water per kilogram for cats. This is dependent on the water in their food and water losses through physical activity and urination. NRC recommends that the daily water to calorie intake ratio to be 1 milliliter of water for every kilocalorie of consumed food. Matsu's maintenance energy requirement is around 692 kilocalories. This means that he needs around 692 milliliters of water daily. With Matsu's meals, 250 grams of his average meals contains about 692 kilocalories. So if he eats around 250 grams of food per day and the raw meat is around 75% moisture, this means that 188 milliliters of his food is water. In this case, he still needs about 500 milliliters of water other than from what he's getting from his diet. While he does still drink from a bowl, I always wonder if it's enough. So I sometimes give a breakfast soup, which is a base of either myoglobin, kefir, or bone broth with distilled water added to it, as well as some other fun additions like egg yolk or freeze-dried meat treats. These are all meal additions that can be beneficial to feed. But what about things that you shouldn't feed your pet? Check this video out to learn more.